We are going the distance in this grand final best of 5 between KC and GX. GX, they take Split, which is a map that we expect them to do well on. But as I bring back Mac and Billy, did you guys expect them to do as well as that, Billy, considering what happened the map before?
I think so. I think when we look at the experience of the players on this roster, right, they're able to bounce back. They know that they can get to that 5th map, and that's exactly what they have done. And I think every single player within the server performed great individually throughout that, which is what allowed Giant X to carry it through. They weren't just waiting on heroic moments either. They were playing so well together as a team.
Yeah, look, on the top of that as well, the fact that you've got both the Cyphers outperforming pretty much each other. You're looking at Sarah, 19 and 14, just doing so much work, especially in that first half, which is funny to say because you'd expect Cypher to do more work in the second half on the defense than usually, you know, lurking up a storm on a map like Split. But yeah, KC just couldn't deal with the aggression from GX. We said on the desk before going into the game, GX needed a really good start on the attacking side, and they couldn't have asked for too much more in that first half.
Let's take a look at some of those rounds because, Mac, they really set the tone, right? And we saw some clutches coming through. We saw some very intelligent play from the side of GX. And it was because of these kind of plays that they kind of just ran away with the game.
Yeah, I feel like, look, Sarah just going absolutely crazy in this particular round. One of the definitely the turning moments as well, locking in 7 on the attack on a map like Split is not only insane, but the fact that she's able to do it in 1v3 manner and just separate the troops like this, manage to find a nice little play, nice little lineup, and then, of course, just isolating every single one of those fights, even after getting paranoid. And then, look, for the rest of the half as well, moving into the second half even, this is going to be that big play out of Smurfette, even though, again, look, maybe not topping the statistics for the team, but still managing to find impact in many rounds.
Yeah, I think when we look at Sarah and her jumping back onto the Sentinel role, right, we kind of touched on it the other day that her clutches on Split, we kind of argue with them, right? She's so good on them, and she's in these situations majority of the time because she is on that Sentinel role, and she just looks so comfortable being on this Killjoy. And I think as well, on Killjoy, on Cypher, apologies, and when we look at Smurfette as well, we're seeing her jump onto that Outlaw, and she was finding so much value off of these first opening engagements too, which is exactly what we want to see coming out from the duelist.
I mean, this was a round that could have very easily gone in the way of KC. They played the mid round very well. They slowed things down, but then it feels like if this was Lotus, GX would have lost this round, you know, the way that they were playing on Lotus, but something just kind of clicked for them. Something kind of woke them up on this map, which means that we're definitely going to get a map 5 no matter what happens. And I know, Billy, earlier you talked about this, you mentioned this, but you have to give it up for Nami. The fact that she's calling out of her mind on so many of these situations and also keeping her players in check and putting up numbers, it doesn't even seem like it's her first grand final, Billy. How has it taken this long for her?
It's crazy, right? When we think about the journey that Nami has been on just as an individual, right? She came up through that Contenders when she was back on Nasser Ignite. She got into the main event, and now this year she's joined this Giant X roster, and she's becoming just an amazing IGL, right? It's amazing to watch her flourish and being part of this roster, and I think that experience isn't going unnoticed at this moment in time. Like you say, she's able to bring the best out of her players. She's calling such a great series so far too, to be able to extend them to this 5th map.
And look, here's a couple of highlights coming out of Ness too. So off the back of that, Ness has been playing out of her mind all bloody series, topping the scoreboard in terms of ACS for GX going into this one. And look, just perfect amounts of impact all throughout the series so far. And again here, especially in that first half, just doing so much work for GX. And Yinsu, you were talking about what the difference was between a Lotus and a Split, and I think it just boils down to complete comfortability and just knowing what they have to do on a map like Split. But moving on to the final map, right? Fracture, mate, that is where there is no comfortability. There's no reps. How do you be comfortable on a map you haven't played other than just hoping you're ready for whatever you're getting thrown at you from KC?
Okay, I'm sadistic, so I took some time to prep for the, you know, the likelihood of us seeing Fracture today. And I want to just I have the notes. I have it written down in this book.
Okay.
But I want us
Nice.
to, you know, toss our minds back to a team once upon a time that did pretty well in EMEA called Guild. Now back on Guild, Smurf. And when Ness joined eventually, but Smurfette was farming on Fracture, you know? She played the Raze, she played the Jet. Later on, she played the Neon as well. I have the comp written out of a potential comp that we could see, because if the roles actually make a lot of sense. You have Nami, who's only played Brimstone on Fracture in her entire career. That could be fun. We know that works. We have a Sarah that's even tried the Reyna. You know, why not? If this is not the map that you play a lot and she's also shooting, hey, who knows? Eva's kind of been more, you know, Eva-esque, the Sage, the Chamber, the Sky, the KO, that's come out in the past. And then Ness is pretty much like a Swiss Army knife on this map. She's played Brim, Viper, Cypher, Sage, Jet, and Fade. So there's not really anything she hasn't played on Fracture. So these are not players that are not familiar with the map. It is just the fact, as you mentioned, Mac, they haven't played as a 5 on this map just yet. But on the other side, Billy, although Casey, they have played it, it's also not that much, you know, if you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, they played it in the groups, right? They've not touched it in the playoffs. They won it once and they lost it once in the groups. So there's not like too much to go off of when we're looking at KC. Obviously, we can expect them to potentially play that sort of same composition here. But yeah, I mean, this veto already? Okay.
All right, jumping into this. Okay, so Teo's meta, Nami playing the Brimmy, bit meta, Breach meta, Cypher meta. So it feels like they're leaning into the meta for what maybe, you know, one of the first times. I feel like the difference is we're seeing the walls coming through with the Neon. We're seeing the fast rotations with that. And you know, as long as they're comfortable with the Teo being incorporated with that, as well as the Breach flashes, there is a huge chance, especially on the defense, you have to fight for map control, and I'm hoping in particular we're going to see Giant X getting in the grills of KC and seeing how KC adapt to that.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm actually obsessed with this, sir. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think that's the EDG comp, right? They've just taken the EDG comp. I am so excited because we know what EDG have been able to do here. But let's just get into this. It is the final map. Winner takes it all. Pansy and Kukuka, have fun with this one.
Oh, we certainly will. This is exactly what we wanted, right? A little bit of a comp switch up here, walking into the unknown. A lot of unknown factors, really, about this one. You know, certainly not in the wheelhouse of either team in a massive extent. And also, I do love the fact that Yinzu just has a burn book that just has comps in it. Like, that is the most Yinzu thing I've ever seen. I do want to see what's in yours, Bea. I've heard you've got your own copy.
I do, yeah.
But
we bought it together. We saw it and we were like, oh my god, we're so getting it.
It makes sense. But what do you make of this comp switch up here? What do you make about going into this final map? What are some of your key points leading into basically the last chance to dance between these two?
So for KC, again, we were speaking about how they have the map advantage and the map veto. And they decided to leave this one for the last one because of probably, and play it safe, right? Because of probably the unknown of what Giant X was going to be bringing and the lack of possibility of preparing for that one. They have played it a couple of times. And to me, the bigger takeaways is I love to see now, finally, the Tejo head-to-head. I really think that glance is going to be a determining factor, and I really like to see that Giant X has decided to go for something very similar to what they play on the Lotus, or what Yinsu was saying, the EDG comp, because it has a lot of strengths. I really like the fact that Sarah and Safi are going to be sticking to the Cypher. Like, I'm very happy with this compositions because it fits the teams so well.
Yeah, this hopefully stays true to the quality that these two can bring, right? That's what we're really hoping, because the last two maps have been blowouts, 13 threes, 13 sixes. We want that close affair between the two. And Glance selling quite the story here. Three players already biting towards A. We do see that crunch towards B now coming in. Lovely stall from the Tejo, though. And a pivot through the underpass.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting close together. Already we see Nami just thinking of the opportunity. Sarah, sorry.
Sarah, that's welcome to Tejo on this map, hey? There's so few safe places to sit. The reposition on site's quite nice, but it's so hazardous. Glance doing wonders already, finding two for herself. But GX aren't out of this yet. still a 2 standing. Ness and Smurfette, they can try and make something happen. But Smurfette on 14 HP, that cross is going to be the volatile part. Can she make it through even on that Neon? Anacelia is certainly looking like she wants to say no to that factor. KC with the first, and you're seeing some comfort here, it looks like, even in all that chaos. Plan in mind.
Yeah, exactly. We see we're going to be seeing a lot of stunts here. It's going to be a little bit like we saw on Lotus as well. And I want to see more for Anacelia. She had such a good map, and she has here another chance to have that amazing impact that she's been having with her utility. We saw a little bit there in that first pistol round for KC on this map. Definitely something needed in terms of confidence after the 13-6 that they had on Split.
Yeah, this is all just waiting and watching. We have no kind of pre-decided or pre-made notions about this. We are learning as we go here. GX looking to fight for the space, try and fight for what they can, and they take down Safia. That's pretty imperative. Brings back Alkia, who gets outdone. Smurfette quick on her feet and quick on the thinking, draws the fight in. It's a 1v2. Now a 1v1. Sarah, you are outrageous to find that. Gets the Bulldog and gets out. 13 HP ain't much, though. Anacelia is sitting pretty, unscathed from all these fights. Open plant. Util still in play and a Vandal. And for Sarah, it's 13 HP. Is it going to be lucky or not?
Didn't she get slowly working back through? HP, or was that Safia?
I think you know what? We've had a lot of 4Ks and a lot from like Cypher players, so it's kind of hard to remember. Oh man, this is it's just a gamble as well. Sarah, get your gun out, please. Get ready. Oh, there was a chance. It was a second's difference. If the HP was different, who knows which way it would have gone, but it was won and lost on this fight by Dish.
Yeah, exactly. This aggression is something that I expect to see from Giant X, from the defense, running with that Neon, also having the possibility to set her up, to just have that extra utility coming in from Ness and Eva. Honestly, does a good work in stopping them. Maybe I was missing a little bit of, I think the glance was caught off guard, not being able to follow with the salvos and whatnot, and actually finding a lot of damage. Look at the buy now for KC. They want to take this one step at a time. Only getting that Vandal out from the previous round. And Alkia's just going with the Bucky. I like that.
Yeah, Nami got a lot to deal with, though. Looking like I want to go for like a little bit of a Dish approach, but look how much space GX already taken. Again, so proactive with this Neon. Smurfette taking wonders, taking heads, glance gone down. Now they're worried. Now they're under threat. They've got... How are you getting a plant here? There's no way you get a plant here. Zero chance. No. Alkia going to go down and the net gets smaller. Safia, the last one alive, and not in the position to do much with it. So you're going to have to try and make something out of nothing here. Have you heard of the 1v5 from Safia?
On Fracture, you mean?
Yeah. No, it was on Fracture.
On their bonus round?
It was. Playing the Cypher, slowly walked up towards Dish. It was crazy what happens up against Ava. It was clean enough, right? But 45 HP, you'd think, not enough. And you might be right. Because then how do you... The thing she did about dealing with...
Sight.
Yeah, that's the bit that really keeps you guessing.
This little time, I assume she just wants to save this Vandal. If anybody else wants to, take up on the duel, she'd be happy to take it, but it's nearly impossible. And Giant X is obviously just sitting, waiting on side. Just look at the angles.
Normally I like to lie to the audience, but normally I like to tell them lies, really lying. Committed lies. Of course, who doesn't? It's the best thing in the world. Right? But this one I can't even fabricate something for. They are sat in like high-low crossfires. They're like, don't start with me, folks. I say folks, observers. The cheek of it, but still, yeah. So the round's just going to dwindle out. Hopefully, we find out if she kept the rifle or not at the end there. A bit bizarre to go for it too far.
If she didn't take the duel
it'd be
earlier,
weird if she went crazy on that. For now, 2-1. GX striking back.
Striking back and being so proactive in doing so. Again, Glance was literally with her knife out, not expecting how fast Smurfette was running on towards her. And of course, I think that is going to keep them guessing for the entirety of the game. How are they going to respond to such aggression? If they're going to be waiting, if they're just going to be very decisive onto the sides. Side. Smurfette just wants to keep pushing.
Yeah, Smurfette likes a flank, it looks like, doesn't it? already pushing out a B, but you can see Carmine Core have eyed up that A site. They got Alkia out towards Sand super early. The rest now trying to pour through main, looking towards that plant. Still got the smokes in place, so now's the time to do it. But GX might want to try and get back into this a little early. The drone going to go down. You've got already Smurfette on the way. They're holding these battle lines drawn, I was going to say in the sand, but for now Alkia trying to back away to some safety, but really good read. Safia knows that timing, that clock ticking. She knows it to the second. And now the three remainders. How are you meant to get back towards site here? You've got no entry points. Oh, well, that would have been the one. That would have been lovely. Sarah can't quite do the damage on it. That would have been brilliant if she could have found it, but no, it is going to be time to save. KC locked in on that A site, Bea.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that they're going in fast, also not leaving Glance being the last one behind and just leaving Safia in charge of it because she's so absolutely good at it. I think that if we go back to the beginning of all of it on Haven, she was absolutely on it when it was about catching off that flank and actually shutting it down. So right now, this is kind of the response that we expected from KC. It's not like they're going to be aggressive onto you and they're just going to die to it time and time again. But this goes for a very early timeout for the side of Giant X. And probably Sasuke just saying, hey, we need to measure where and when we are aggressive, when to fall back. Because at some point, you cannot just keep pushing in every single round. You become too readable. And that is something that KC, again, is not going to struggle with.
Yeah, this is... I quite like an early timeout in this regard because it also kind of indicates the gravitas of the situation, right? This is the final map, best of 5. You've learnt your lessons while you've been going through the maps. You've had highs and lows. You've had strong wins, strong losses, and then 2 close maps. You've got to keep their heads about them here. And you're right. Maybe that flank timing, maybe that pressure on these aggressive plays. If anything, it's just encouraging KC to go for those sights hits, 5 players strong, right? So I do want to see what they do as an answer here for Giant X. They have a lot of options. I mean, this composition gives you so many different looks, so much versatility. It doesn't have to be singular in approach. But I do think this is also one that you don't want to let the momentum slip away from Giant X. You don't want it to feel like, some of the previous maps that have been absolute blowouts. You want to feel it competitive. You want to feel it close. Now we've got a couple of ults nearby. Smurfette very near. We do have an Acilia with hers, though, which is worrying me because that is so huge on a map like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that she has been performing, I think just granting off those first rounds, she was extremely close to getting it. Now with 3 on the board. She's already looking towards it, but I was going to say, girl, you still have the spike in your hand. Maybe you do not want that the drone is coming in. And they're spotting something that Giant X definitely was prepared and is like, do not be on the inside. Do not be on site.
Ooh. 1 and a second hit by that. It should be the go signal. Get on site, get the plant, and also apparently get a kill. Alkia's gone down in the same sort of breath as that. Anacilia going to just drift off the site, and here comes the flank. They now know it's coming. Anacilia needs some support here, needs some help, surely, but she's on an island. She's on her own. Support's finally coming in, but it may be too little too late. Safia trying to save the day, but Smurfette is on the case. Giant X pulling off the retake. This time, the timing was just right.
And it gives so much context onto why that timeout was called, because this was such an important round. If you start letting, if you begin to let KC to ride off of that momentum, if this round would have been for the side of KC with this plan, it could have been so different. And Ness getting 2 very important kills. Yes, Giant X still goes for that aggression, but is Anacilia by herself? Probably cost also because nobody else could go to help her.
No,
thanks to those kills by Ness.
Yeah,
This goes here.
God, that was such a necessary round. As you said, even just mentally, it starts feeling like, oh God, have we dropped the ball here? Are we, what's going on? But no, seeing them come back here is super good. I'd like to see Carmine Core fight back in now as well. Seeing Giant X, leveling up. I want to see this going back and forth. And a very split approach on this one. Drone going to go through. The spike is in the hands of GX. So that's the one thing to keep in mind. She is normally where they're going to kind of lean towards predominantly a 3-2 split on that B site now, coming in north towards the 3-player stack. South only has 2. Bit of stall coming in here, though, but those smokes, they're not going to last forever, Bea.
Yeah, absolutely not. And you also have the utility from Sarah still waiting on site. She's going to activate the cage, making everything so complicated.
Oh, my word. Here comes the ult. Yeah, sends him away, buys some time, but Alkia trying to overwhelm, but GX still in control here. Ult doesn't mean anything, apparently. Glance with it all to do after a team kill as well. GX are right back in the driving seat.
I do not feel any sorry for our servers right now, because that was very difficult to keep an eye on. Many things happening onto the side at the same time. We have Smurfette running onto it, just going with this duels, held by Sarah, just moving away from that ultimate and actually having a double stance just by the end of it. Safia goes down to that ultimate, and all this chaos has to call for now KC asking a timeout after losing those 2 rounds in a row. Little bit of mayhem going there on the site. GX and Eva still to find a kill, and especially like for GX with the rounds that she's had, with how impactful she's been.
And the thing is, like, GX on that Omen, I love watching her work, right? In the first couple of maps, you see it especially so much, like, individual stopping power. And it's kind of one of the, like, IGLs you can frag we were talking about. I need to see how well she handles the Astra here as well, see her activate on this one too. I don't want her to fall into that just, like, you know, plays the smoker, does the role, does what she can, because she brings so much more value than that. I think we've all seen that, right? It's one of those things that she's so talented with, that she can still find mechanical impact. But for now, it's 3-3, Bayer, and this is again the tricky part. We know that they've played this, you know, within their own amounts, but how fresh is this in their mind? How prepared are they once there's adaptations to keep up with them as well? Because things change within 2-3 rounds in this game, right? You've got to be able to learn on the fly, and they're gonna have to try and do this, KC, with a very broken purchase. Alkia, yes, with the Bulldog, the rest down to Sheriffs.
Yeah, and Smurfette is just going to be slowly but surely again pushing on from Dish, this time by herself with that outlaw. Oh, and she's good to find Glance again, going at first. All that impact that we were speaking about, the Tejo probably having. Of course, the buy is not the best for KC on this one, but we need to see new and fresher approaches onto this. I'd like to see them going back on to A, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see them test the waters there a little bit more. Again, this site just looks inaccessible. Ava kind of playing the little ratty corner of the contact
and the
on the
utility
cross.
from Sarah.
Oh, Nami with the stall as well. There's so much stall. And little by little, step by step, Smurfette's just killing them as they come up, right? You got the molly, potentially, if needed, from Nami. You've got the, you know, salvos from Ava. You've still got the Scythe utility. You've got Ness with the stuns. And the stuns on Smurf. I mean, everything here is just so oppressive to play against. So a very uphill struggle. Nice, at least on the first clean from Sarah, keeping control. Lovely. Closer to the round. A flawless look here from Giant X, who found a little bit of a rhythm now.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, just following up with this aggression from Smurfette, finding that a little bit disgusting here. Also, Sarah finding 3 here, thinking that she dealt with the GX when she didn't. Doesn't matter. Still a flawless round for them. Again, watch out. It's 3 in a row, and everybody knows what that means for Giant X. They're starting to feel extremely comfortable in a map where they had no business being comfortable.
And again,
but
we
right
talk
now
bigger
they're not
picture,
being shut down. Like, sorry?
We think bigger picture as well, just getting those 3 in a row, kind of these small things like bigger picture, but the fact that they're doing it in the final map, grand finals, a new opponent, how many times have we looked at this team and wondered, can they make it count now? Is this their time to finally pull it together? Because as much as you don't want to think about it too much when you're playing, you want to be focused on what's in front of you, it's got to be in the back of their mind somewhere, right? That they have been always second place to G2.
Yes.
They've made it past that challenge now with a new opponent on the other side. And I mean, there are pieces of G2 in that KC roster in some way, shape or form, but still, for Giant X taking the lead here, that is true. It's made its way throughout. But again, this is a huge round for them. And for KC, can they course correct? It's felt like a bit of a drought here for a moment or two. The ult finds nothing. And Giant X can now start bringing in their ults, right? Layering in them into this. And it's still going to go down. Alkia does strike back and takes the fight to CT. The spike is left on its lonesome on the site, though.
Yeah, but they're going to have the easiness to get it down. That ult's still not going to go down. Yeah, good for 2 here.
Oh, that's
That
dreamy
definitely
from
changes
Alkia.
everything.
Unbelievable. Oh, and Smurfette getting caught here. Sarah, you've been clutch before. But you know what? It ain't happening now. Safia going to close out the account, and we go back and forth here, tied up at 4 apiece.
Try something.
Yeah, but this round we have to give props to what it's due. Like, Adesilia goes down here to the ultimate from Nami, but it's also off the back of those ultimates, right? Of the Cosmic Divide and also the Neural Theft. Getting that information, that is something that they're not going to have for this round. This is, you know, this where they have been struggling So I want to see what the approach is going to be. It looks like they want to go towards B again, but watch out because Smurfette has that operator out. And she's definitely hungry to get this win on Fracture. And finally getting Giant X to win one of the finals that they've been in so many of them. And yes, most of these players have won finals. We have Smurfette, Sarah, Naz, Ava. I think that Nami might be the only one on that roster that has not won one.
Now, can they do it together? KC, fancy their chances. That young blood coming in. Glance, the veteran, the one to bring them together, to take them through this. There's players on this A site, Nami one of them, who's been a safe pair of hands here. Smurfette, a bit of an off angle. Going to be rotating around. You can see the commitment now towards Sand coming in.
Instant ultimates. Two of them used now. Ness and Smurfette rocking up theirs. Safia already on the flank. She's gathered control over B, and their rotations are coming in. I was gonna say, maybe that flank was not going to be so successful on this map so far. Oh, never mind. Sarah's here.
Smoke was late. It looks like something went wrong with that smoke there. GX gonna try and make up for the mistake or whatever happened on that quick pivot towards B. They look completely unaware that that smoke was not going to be in play, but Nami gonna isolate Glance. They go down. GX and Safia. Safia nuts, even in their loss on split. This time still finding success. Ava can try and gap close a little closer to sight. Isolated on Ness though. GX still holding, still fighting, but the stun! Just too much to get past as Smurfette gets the defuse and takes back the lead.
I do not envy our observers because this round, they're just, as we would say in Spanish, twisting the twirl already. I love the fact that KC is trying to work the map, trying to condition the opponent, trying to play up against what Giant X is putting on the board. And this one came so close until that last stun, until that blast head-to-head between Smurfette and GX. Finally finding some footing here, but still it's not enough. Giant X takes the lead again. Still very close up on that score.
Yeah, it's
and that
so
operator,
hard to define these two,
I want to
Bea.
see the effect that it can have.
Yeah, Smurfette didn't really have the time to bring it in last round, right? So maybe this is the chance. But again, similar scenes to last round, right? That kind of 4-1 split, the slower approach through the underpass from Safia. So again, this looks rinse and repeat here almost on the A hit.
Stuns utility coming out. Alkia, nothing good to get Nami, but no, that smokes goes down, and the second layer here for Giant X is falling down. Still plenty of time to work with. And Safa, you're not going to believe it, she's on the flank. By herself.
No.
This is my head-to-head. That head-to-head defines this match.
Nami barely alive down below, though. How long can she live down here? For now, it seems like forever. Yeah, they have no idea, and they're falling away from this. It's big information. They're maybe going to re-hit at some point, right? Just pause for a second. Go back for seconds, but now they've lost information, right? Now it gets really uncomfortable. Maybe they still got a little bit of util in the form of GX's ult here as well, and Acilia's still got some stuns to get onto the site, but GX aren't rotating.
Cosmic Divide falling down.
30 seconds left.
The damage is not following.
28 seconds. They got to make a move on this. GX, they're in the right place with players. Even though, yeah, Nami's low, but she got a shorty waiting. That's nastiness. Oh, a tag and no frag. That's unfair. And actually, they clear sight. 15 seconds. KC somehow bully their way forward. You've got to walk the wall, Sarah. It drops at the worst time, apparently. Hold on. Ooh, almost got the control, but GX recovering what felt like near an impossible round.
But actually, it was extremely well played for KC. So they've been delayed by Nami's smokes, which we know it's going to happen. One of the reasons and one of the main reasons why you decide to play the Brimstone here and how long those smokes last. And being delayed, they also used the time to get Glance to grab that orb. Even though her ultimate was not going to come online with that orb, didn't really matter. Again, it's another it's another round where they have GX's ult, and that makes the round change. They wait until those smokes are out. Glance is the one also getting the plan, guaranteeing that she's going to have the Armageddon for the next round, and just getting the round, but thinking about what's coming up in the future.
Look at Smurfette's positioning. So tricky to deal with. Okay,
I love this Nats cosplay.
Yeah.
Coming in from Safia. The attacking Cypher operator.
For now, a little bit unknown here. Very much drawn the players over. And the audacity, again, for Sarah to go walking about. I guess in this round, they do have less to work with, so they can be a little bit more risque about what they're choosing to do. For Sarah, there's a lot of players here, and she's being watched by GX. Gets the tag and falls off. That's pretty telling. You don't want to open up that avenue of a pick back on you, so falls all the way back towards site.
Yeah, and Casey's read on this is if there's someone pushing, and that was Sarah, probably the side is a little bit weakened out, or she's just playing by herself there. I don't think they've spotted a Smurfette this round, right?
No. Mark's still trying to sell. It's going to be this B hit, and well, with the ult on top, Smurfette, you had to do something about that. Don't know what the plan was, but for now, Glance just farming. Absolutely farming. Now, for the rest of GX, they are in the right place here, but sadly, they've still only got Sheriffs. Now, we've seen their Shikos before. It's 19 seconds. It's getting a little bit risky. Not in the end. GX, again, GX is starting to warm up here, Bea. We're starting to see more and more of these 3Ks.
It's extremely scary because going into the last round, the 2 rounds that she has used her ultimate have ended up in a win for KC. If she's able to get it online for this one, with the amount of force that are out in this map, she can definitely do it. And for the way that KC have been, sorry, working around the map, I see that perfectly be possible. Anacelia also one orb away from hers. There's also many things available for the side of Giant X, and I think that after what we've seen, we kind of deserve a 6-6 half.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I'm down for it. A close affair. That's kind of what we wanted, right? After the last 2 maps, we wanted something a little bit more head-to-head. Now, we've got a buy on both sides. Ava's got ult, but we haven't seen, like, massive impact yet off those ults, but still, I do want to see where they decide to head towards. It looks like that commitment late through Arcade.
Drone is going to gather up the information. It's going to be destroyed. We spotted one of the players, I believe. Eva's ready.
Yep. That is going to be a rough wait. Trying to approach the site. There is a lot of... Oh my god, scramble. Scramble. Get out of there. What? Oh, finding a little cubby. They didn't see the little bit of a corner to play from. There was just a little bit of a cutout for Alkia to tuck in towards, but Anacelia is still going to go down as well. Util layered onto this. Down into a 4v4 at 45 seconds.
45 seconds. Alkia also has her ultimate to work with if she wants to get onto the site. Spike's on her. And Nami just playing by herself from tower. Again, one away from that ultimate that could prevent the plant. If she's good for one, she just has to hide. 30 seconds. Those salvos are available again.
Salvo's in. Clearing a decent amount of space here. Gonna use just the showstopper. Good. Nami's gone down. 15 seconds. You've got to make that cross happen here. Leaving it open from Canteen to maybe take a little bit of fight on it, but now here comes the stall. Glance needs to get the spike down. It was just down in time. Dies for it in the end, but still, it's on Smurfette in a 1v3, and look at these positions. These angles are brutal to clear. A deeper position for Safio, and we've got a reposition as well coming in from GX. Maybe just leaving Alkia to take the main contact from Tower for now, but again, the plant isn't complimentary for the other 2 players, so they do need to stay close enough by. Smurfette obviously doesn't know that yet. Trying to deal with it. Alkia playing the time. So cold.
Stars.
Yep. And there we go. This is nearly feeling unwinnable unless you dealt with that back line. You can see it here. Smurfette has to get this towards half at bare minimum. And she's done and dealt with. Safia going to put her down to her grave. And 5-7. What a scoreline we're having, Bea.
Yeah, and I love the recovery from both of the teams. I have to say the early timeout coming in from GX definitely having a lot of impact, but we can say the exact same for KC, that even in a round where, you know, they had some things to work with, like they breach ult, but it doesn't matter if they lose the player, they still have responses, they still have ideas, they still find a way to break into the schemes of Giant X. What a beautiful first half that we had. So true.
But you're never gonna break me. All the years I've known in my heart, all the fears I'll find apart. Oh, gonna fight till the end of the world. Gonna make it on my own. Deep in my soul, my brave wild heart.
It's 7-5 favorable to KC as it stands, but it's been a close affair, Bayer. This one really not having a clear-cut leader so far.
Do you remember when Yinso was saying that this is EDG's comp? Do you know
Yes.
in the final there in Thailand, they also got with this composition 5 rounds on the defense. I am not joking, and that ended up being an OT that they actually won. So let's see if we can have again. I think that for the sake of the performance that we've seen from both of the teams today, I would love to see an overtime. I would love to see it, you know, down to the very last round, the very last moment. To crown a new winner here for EMEA. Giant X have been trying for so long. But KC, now that that crown is up for grabs, they definitely want it. And throughout the entire year, they've been proven that they are more than worthy of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Both teams hard to separate at this point. But a very slow but methodical approach towards the B site. And Safia having to respect this. The help's on the way, but it's certainly not there yet. Plant going to be in while we still have someone like Alkia over towards Sand. So it is going to be hard to make this one back up from timing-wise. Speeding up on the rope to try and get over to maybe try and get that crunch going towards that main side on B. You can already see the post-plant deep setup from Ava. Nice going to be having those salvos in place if required. But KC, you got to get a move on here. They're being held back by the smokes. They're being held back by just about everything. Smurfette getting a little bit curious and playing further ahead, and already the stall coming in. Yeah, Glance does well. They've got to make it across on the site. Sarah trying to catch one on the way. Ava does brilliantly. Time starting to tick here. Still very doable, even the 2v3. Sarah gap closing and killing out. It's Ava now just to do the dance and buy the time. I think she's done more than enough here. Beautifully done by Giant X.
Another pistol round that goes for Giant X. I love how evened out we've been, even in this kind of scenarios. And do not get me wrong, I love the fact that KC decided to go for the flank, even to change their mind and just go for a different approach, trying to play with your opponent's mind and whatnot. But the time was their biggest enemy onto the side, not having time to clear out everything, to clear out every corner as you would like to. And Eva just coming in clutch where you need her the most. 6-7 now, looking to even things out for the side of Giant X.
Yeah, this is such a tense moment. We've seen these rounds go wrong as well, right? We've seen so many of these go the way it technically shouldn't. There's a stack on B. I mean, yeah, you've got a lot of util.
I just love a Bucky.
And the Bucky. We're going for the ASMR
mostly don't
stream.
get anything with it, but when you get it,
Okay.
it's disgusting.
Okay, it's disgusting. Which one they use, Billy? Get on it. All right. Smoke's in. It's so tense here. Jokes aside. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Bucky, what's gone on? GX, the only one to really draw blood so far. Safia waiting patiently. They're like, nah, that's a Bucky. Sorry, a shorty. I don't want any of that. GX making mountains out of molehills. Safia only with that shorty. This is going to be so tricky to find the right spot, because they can just evacuate and be like, no. I'm going A. They've got enough time. They're just pausing. They're making her sweat here. And she really doesn't have access to anything but the classic. That's all she can go to. Plants in. They're watching. Ooh, can't say she didn't try.
Close.
Can't say she didn't try.
Oh, I'm kind of sad that we missed what GX was doing onto the side, because she was definitely creating some mayhem and getting kills just off the back of that classic.
This goes here.
Little bit of damage, as we're saying. And Celia's
only
actually
the
going to be
Bucky
gonna go for the outlaw. What?
If only the Bucky worked.
Yeah, I know.
Goes there.
We really
Praise
talked
to
it up
the
with whole
observers for
ASMR
falling into
segment.
the madness with me. And just
Yeah, it's kind of
giving
your
me
fault.
the
You baited
Bucky
them in.
POV.
Yeah, that's nasty of you, Bayer. I
goes
can't believe
here.
you've done that. There's going to be Reddit threads going, oh,
I am
these
so
observers.
sorry.
Oh, but we are into the round. GX coming in with what remains. So the two Bulldogs, we've got one Vandal with Smurfette and the two Sheriffs. Early contact and early intention shown towards A. North-south split, heavier on that northern side. Smurfette looking to be the one to maybe kind of show that pressure early, but healing away from this.
You see, just trying to put some pressure onto Hole. Not going to find anything on the other side. Sarah's just going to be staying by herself. She's never struggled by herself.
No.
But just with that Sheriff.
It's like a horror movie. It's after me. Ava got spotted just I think it was the edge of the jacket around the corner was seen. So goes down and opens up a new approach. Hello, that's a player seen. Sarah, though, causing a couple of issues here. Could pressure, but they still don't have site control, right? We're getting late into the round and they don't have a step towards site. That could have been a big fight. It wasn't in the end. It just kind of peters out. Now, KC, still 5 alive. Not looking too threatened here. Smurfette, I mean, that wasn't pretty. They're trying to pinch towards CT, but it's just going nowhere. Sarah does find a good shot, but there's no crossing. Safia's watching this. They know where Sarah is. 20 seconds. This would have to be monstrous, and it isn't. KC, 4 standing. The bonus not as threatening as you thought it would be.
I love to see also Casey just going on the aggression, finding one pick, and just all together swap things around. So leaving GX just playing around the defender spawn. But I love to see how we're going to... They're playing a little bit onto the predictability of it. Of, do you expect them to be as aggressive as you were being, and also putting so many bodies onto it. In a bonus round, anything can happen. And the plan from your opponent can be something that you do not expect. But KC comes out on top. Now this is the territory that we like. GX also with that ultimate. Again, 100% win rate on the attack. Let's see if she can do the same on the defense.
And they're taking the fight. They are taking the fight to GX here, but that flash gets eaten and they swing on it. That could have been huge. Ava does really well to get GX down. And look at the follow-ups here. Giant X just take it back this round by 4. Safia, irrelevant to outcome, they can just go towards A. They don't even need to entertain the idea that she was there. And the patience pays for Smurfette. Heads up work, tying things right back up all even.
Exactly. The aggression coming in to RK for the side of KC. Repeated this round, but this time Giant X was ready, looking also in the right direction. Quickly in the reactions that they've been throughout the entire day. And you can only think in this moment of like the exhaustion. Disgusting shot from Eva there.
Yeah.
A couple of them actually. But as I was saying, you would expect that at this point you're gonna see like some serious whiffs. And not off the back of a Bucky, but actually, you know, when you have a decent weapon and whatnot. But these players are given a game so far in Fracture. And we see it on the scoreboard. And we see it round by round.
Patient play, apart from this A main show of force here. Smurfette taking early space, managing to avoid all the Teo util. Lance wanting to clear that question mark. Spots out Smurfette. Nothing more. They have a lot of bodies towards the side of the map, and I'm looking at the exploration on the other side. Sarah, right? How much does she get here? The camera? Gonna be heard, but obviously we don't know the full information.
Yeah, exactly. Probably because of Ness having her ultimate also to be in the possibility of coming in with Eva. Casey has decided to just leave the B side completely open. Yes, they do have some pieces of utility coming in from Safia, but playing for the retake here, especially having GX ultimate, is the best opportunity that they can have. On paper.
Here we go. Just got to make that cross. Safia forced to back away again. This space denial and control. Smurfette just tucks into a little bit of a safe corner towards heaven. Or up towards tower, shall I say. Sarah going to get the plant in. And we're good. They've got the time on their side. Now, ult going to come in, buy time, stop anyone working in through from CT. So they take a swing, take a chance. They could gamble down to Arcade and they get a 1-for-1 trade. Smurfette going to know there's more players there. Obviously, Alkia doing well. Another ult on top. Bayer, they're investing everything.
Of course they are. Alkia not going to find anything here. 2v4 scenario now for the side of KC. Glance is good for 1. But how much did he want to invest to this? Also, the time has already taken on Giant X's favor. And they decide to just completely give up this round. And it's such a good round for Giant X because of them understanding that KC and getting the information that KC is not playing onto the side because of the ultimates that they have. The first thought is, okay, you're not going to be on side? No problem. We will save everything for when the spike is down and actually running the clock in their favor. So very well thought and very beautifully played for the side of Giant X.
But I'm looking for repetition in this because Giant X, you look at the string of rounds, right? 4-1 on this half. Can they keep going? Can they keep that steady march towards that ideal scoreline? Get up to double digits. Get those 10 rounds. Keep pushing further forward. So close now. You can almost taste it, right? It's so close, but Carmine Core never fully down, never fully out. We know what they can do. Smurfette with the early glimpse on Glance. And continues to have a little bit of a look around, but it's not a solo mission for now. There are plenty of players here, maybe expecting a bit of aggression.
Yeah. KC is It's being very well measured. They do not want to get too aggressive
Locating target.
on their approaches. And Giant X is kind of expecting it, right? Let's just see what KC is up to this round. All this drone. A-hole is completely empty for them. Does this give the tell on what's happening on Arcade?
Slowly walking in towards that Cypher setup gives me such anxiety. Still also have GX nearby, who's currently leading the scoreboard for the KC side. Here comes the util clear on site. Still got a lot of work to do here, though. Still not easy. That one-way cage going to hinder them initially, maybe focus their approach through from Sand, but another trip in play. A lot of stall here. We're down to 30 seconds, Bayer. This is getting down so late in the day. They've broken through towards main. Nami carefully sliding through by Sand, but now just down to the molly. And the rifle in hand takes a fight towards Heaven. Going to try and buy the time with that molly there. Look elsewhere. Looks down below the drop. Finds GX, but it's traded in by Smurfette. Good work in the end. Oh, the showstopper didn't actually find the full target in the end. Just chip damage, but it's Alkia with a pain shell on the follow-up. Oh, it's gorgeous from Alkia. 3 out of nowhere, leaving Ava irrelevant to the outcome. Carmine Core with the right place at the right time.
4 kills for Alkia this round. What a performance. Shutting down, using her ultimate, and then the pain shell to guarantee the kill. Also shutting down Smurfette, just running on towards her. Yeah, you were absolutely amazing, Alkia. You have a lot to celebrate onto that round. To the best of their ability, playing for that retake, not even needing to invest more than that showstopper to get the round on the board for them. Again, the back and forth constant that we're seeing from this teams. Giant X feeling, again, very comfortable to leave everything down onto almost the very last second. Alkia, the moment that you said the GX was leading the charge, Alkia was like, no, not gonna let that happen. Also, surprising to see that GX... I mean, I think it took her like 4 or 5 rounds to even get 1 in the board, and now she's up to 14. Finding back that comfortable situation for her.
9-9. These two feel inseparable, don't they? At least on the scoreboard. Oh, Safia suddenly shows a little bit of that potential. The double swing almost dealt with individually. Smurfette can't convert. And now we're down to just Sarah. KC suddenly just kicking it up a gear. This A site seems just impossible to approach. And there's not much more to be done here for Sarah. Really, the spike left so deep into their hands. And what a time for KC to really kick it up a notch. This is them suddenly going from what felt like being dictated to being the ones fully at the helm. 10 rounds about to be gathered by them and GX. This is not the time to run out of steam. KC showing that capability now.
I think it's definitely the time to take a timeout. And just go back into the drawing board, discuss a little bit of how Casey is approaching them when they go onto this side.
30 seconds
We understand,
left.
you know, how Casey was just preferred the B side, and probably Giant X will end up in the same situation after this round. Also thinking of, again, GX has been having that cosmic divide that is going to come into play, and it's probably, I'm not going to say a guarantee as it was in the first half, but it's definitely going to be a hurdle that they have to overcome. For the side of Giant X, not finding anything off of their ultimates.
And this is where we get to really see that metal tested, though, right? This is, you know, what does Giant X have for us here? Because we discussed depth, and we don't know much about them on this map in recent times. Let's say that. The burn book certainly has the history, but this is the time for the timeout, because you can see that swing, right? That pendulum swing here. How much do they still have in the tank? It's been a long best of 5. You know, shout out to every viewer who's been here at the start, watching all the way through. And it's been fatiguing even casting this, let alone playing it. It's a long series when you go all 5 maps, right? This is a long time. So for them, how much is left in the tank? How much more can they bring? What more do they have here pre-made as well? You know, we're starting to see that little turn of events, Bayer. Do you think this is going to stay true, that Carmine Core now have got a nice old beat on the game? Or do we see maybe the GX still have more to bring?
I think that we're actually going to go OT. I am not joking.
Do?
I think that, yeah.
Okay.
I think that especially because of both of what the teams are bringing, the success of the timeouts that we've been seeing, I think the Giant X still has it. They were starting off, just look at the scoreboard right now. They were starting off, and it's 4-3 in the half already so far. They're only 1 round away from their opponents. But obviously, the conversations need to be had onto how you can create a favorable scenario for you. What's going to be your biggest hurdles? Because right now, if you're on the side of Giant X and because of how KC have been playing the rounds, it's not going to be easy to identify a weakness because of how different every round looks to be.
That goes there.
Yeah, you're bang on. Right. GX, can you punch back? You've got a little bit of a lacking by there. Ava is going to be down on just the SMG, so it's certainly not ideal. But you're going to do the best you can. And it looks like going back to what was getting them far more rounds, this B approach, right? This B hit. But that feels readable, especially with no pressure coming towards A main. And Alkia positioned perfectly, catching off Smurfette. First time we've really seen that utilized, but it's not. It is kind of a one and done now. But they're already at the player disadvantage, Bea.
Absolutely, with Smurfette now down, to be extremely cautious. Maybe leaning on Sarah, but Safia just locking down the kills here onto the site.
And look, Ava's doing what she can, right? Fights forward, looks for some more, and actually doubles down, gets GX2, trying to work in through that canteen. It ain't over yet. Hold on. Ness, anything for us? Yeah, okay, still standing. A 1v2, but the ult for Glance is terrifying. That feels like the checkmate here, but for now, it's just going to be those salvos going through. And Acilia going to give away the position, but that's fine. The late creep up towards B main is the unknown. But does Ness put it together? Does she think about it? I think she does. She absolutely does.
30 seconds left.
The patience. Van Acilia is there. The right place. Everything lined up well for them. And again, this start going the way it did felt like it was fated to fall apart, right, Bea? This kind of a little bit of a weaker hit towards the side. Didn't feel as punchy as before. Didn't feel like that chaos was there. And now the money's bad. This could be 12.
Yeah. Might as well be 12 for KC, especially when we look at the bias you're saying, Lauren, for
Look at the
side of
ults.
Giant X. Again, the ultimates that they have not needed so far. The individual performance, and again, the way that they're playing every round differently, it makes it very difficult to adapt. And here is where I think comes the not having reps on the map playing against... is actually playing against Giant X.
Oh, that's a double. It's a double every day. Almost getting the triple there for Alkia. Giant X left in tatters. Their chances of really pushing through as 5 together to claim that victory starting to look slim to none. It ain't over, but it's getting close. Smurfette desperate to be the one to make the difference. Does well. Still fighting the good fight for Giant X, but KC singular in approach, singular in the goal in mind. Ava has to pull up a 1v3 on 45 HP. She's got the right start. But can she
And she
stick
also
the
had the
landing?
Armageddon.
She does, and she spotted both, connected with both. She's got all the tools she needs. How does she play this one out? Because they'll want to push. They'll want to try and make a play on this one. Glance still has util as well. So does Anacelia. They still have a lot to play with here. Buying time. That's a sound cue made. That's the ult lined up. That should deny. That's half achieved, forcing them away, going for that kind of horizontal rather than vertical. And now Ava forced in on this, still has that stun, still could do something. No, it slips away. Carmine Core now in touching distance to being the winners here at GC. Alkia, what a start to the round.
3 opportunities that they're now going to have to close this one out. They only need one of them to claim that crown that they've been definitely fighting for since the beginning of the year. So far, only G2 Gosen have been able to win up against them, and they already got their revenge. Do they have what it takes to close this one out and become the winners of this stage 1?
Cage triggered.
Because of the form that they're presenting, we definitely think so. Right now, it's all about the confidence. Glance.
Oh my God,
Too eager
Glance.
to go onto here.
Yeah, but in these moments, it could be all or it could be nothing. She's put her life on the line, and now she might be screwed here, but they're going to double down. You don't fight alone here. Carmine Core come out to try and save the day. The old Slayer on top. It's getting chaotic. Glance and Anacelia working together. Oh, it's gorgeous from Glance, leaving just Smurfette and Sarah in a world of hurt, seeing those hopes and dreams slipping away. After everything they've done, they're left in a 2v4. Sarah has been exceptional. Smurfette, known in this roster as one of the standing bastions for them for such a long time. But now to face these numbers, to try and go against it, it feels impossible, and it is. Carmine Core walking away as the stage 1 GC champions here. It felt so right from beginning to end.
To me, one of the biggest highlights of today, besides of, I think that all individually have shown up and have had brilliant performances here and there. GX in the first maps, Safia all the way around it. But I want to have a moment to highlight how Anasilia has been playing.
Yes.
The way that she's been setting up everybody, the way that she's going up against such experienced players. Her first final here, barely all those reps in tier 1, having that performance also in that last round where Glance is in a situation where it's life or death. You still have many other chances, but she has what it takes to go up on the aggression, to double down and follow up her IGL and leader there in Glance to close this one out. Do not get me wrong, for the side of Giant X, also many brilliant performances. Bringing this back, bringing this to the last map, almost to the last round, knowing that they had not been playing the Fracture at all. It says a lot about the year that we have here in EMEA Game Changers.
Oh, you're so right, and I love the fact we are seeing a bit of a changing of the guard, right? The young blood coming through here, the new players, the talent they've displayed today as well. As you said, Anasilia is an easy name to go to because she's been outstanding throughout this, a clear cut above the rest mechanically and, through util, every other means. She has been on the case, but it was a team effort today. And I'm glad we got a much closer final map between these two because, again, this series delivered in all fronts. We saw the highs and lows at the start, both very close games, OTs, Bayer. We had it all in this series. We had blowouts, we had the lot. Aces, 4Ks. You couldn't ask for a better final.
And seriously, I think that what I like the most, I love to see them celebrate it because they definitely had to fight for it. This is my biggest takeaway of the entire final. At no point I saw any of these teams, no matter their scoreboard, defeated. Like, even
It's
when it was
true.
on Split, when it was on Lotus, and one team was getting absolutely demolished, I never saw them defeated. They always bounced back, and that is the most important thing. KC, even with those with the map veto advantage and everything, have to fight tooth and nail for this one, and they clearly deserved it.
Yeah, what a fantastic note to end on, at least from us. Thank you so much for joining me, Bayer. It's been a pleasure casting with you. Don't know who that mic guy was. You were great. But to really wrap it all up, to give you those in-depth looks, and who knows if we're lucky, maybe a player interview as well, we're going to hand it over to the desk who are standing by to really put a bow on the end of this show.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Cuckoo. My highlight was actually Hypox, so, I'll give him his flowers. But more importantly, KC have done it. It's been such a long day. We had some ups, we had some downs, but in the end of this, Billy, KC are the champions. It's their first title for the organization, and a very special one.
It's incredible, right? Glance has not won a grand final since stage 2 of 2023. Alkia not won a grand finals since stage 3 of 2023. And then a first time for the org, a first time for 3 of the players. You have Safia, Anasilia, and the leader flying that KC banner in GX. I mean, what an absolute achievement for them.
Yeah, it has to be said that it was just such a stellar performance. It did get a little shaky, though, at the start of Fracture there. We were all getting a little bit worried, like, oh, GX, they're looking pretty good. But then there was just that turning point when Eva couldn't win that 1v2 clutch. Things just started to go south so quick, and it felt like KC started to really read GX in that second half. But that's what makes champions champions, right? Is adapting, making sure that you can deal with what's being thrown at you, even if it is that EDG comp that we were talking about. And KC deserve everything and the trophy.
Oh, 100%. Having that much resilience on a map 5, when everything was so close as well, you have to give it up for KC here. I do believe, however, we do have the pay safe card play of the finals ready here. There's a lot to choose from. We saw a lot of amazing clutches, individual performances, even an ace as well, but it has to go to something very special we saw on map 1, of course. Mac, it's a Evers 4K on overtime.
Yeah, it is a crucial play that GX needed. If they lost this, they would have lost map 1 and we wouldn't have gone to 5. It's also, historically this year, the first time that KC has lost, which is huge context to the play. But the fact in a one and done position, you get 4 when there's 4 players, all of which have a gun in hand, that's insane. And a spray down with a Vandal, you know, that's insanity, absolute insanity. Mechanically, beautiful play, and Eva deserves that.
Yeah, I mean, well deserved from Ava. I think that really kind of hyped us up from the get-go in this grand finals as well, right? The fact that we get in overtime on the first map and Ava manages to get that 4K to string the team on. Yeah, it was a great play of the week.
And we have to also sadly say goodbye to GX for now. They will be back for another split. But for now, I have a very special interview. My favorite thing to do every single tournament, which is to interview, of course, the winners. I'm now joined by Anasilia from Carmichael. And I do believe we have some of her teammates there as well. Hello. Hi. I hope you can hear me. Congratulations. That was a crazy final. I don't know how you guys went through that, so I'm gonna go straight into this and ask you, Anasilia, you know, not many players can call themselves the champions of EMEA. It is a very difficult thing to do. So how does it feel that you are now one of them?
I mean, I'm really happy to be in this team, be part of this big family, and I have no words right now.
When you joined Casey this year, did you expect to win a title so soon?
I mean, yes and no at the same time. I expected that I'm gonna go deeper than I could before, and yeah, we did a great job.
Yeah.
Did it.
I think you set some kind of record, like 12 games in game 2. 12 games, you know, in a stage in tier 1, and then instantly win. Some players have grinded, you know, 3-4 years for this, Anasilia. So how do you, why do you think that you've been able to do this so soon? And how do you stay so, I guess, cool, calm, and collected in these big moments?
First of all, I think it's because I got a really good friends that I met in these past 2 years that recommended me, first of all, to the Carmine Corp and something. And yeah, there's nothing much to say. I'll just never give up on my dream.
Who do we have to thank then? So who was the ones that recommended you to go to KC?
It was Drunken Pony, it was Inari, and it was Float Who.
Okay, well, they deserve the shout out. They deserve the shout out.
They
I see that.
Mwah.
Oh yeah, you tell them. You tell them. I see that Safia is there around you. I just want you to pass on a message because she got 100 kills in this grand
kills!
Final.
Oh my god,
100
Safia.
from Safia. Which, by the way, is the 3rd most kills anyone has ever gotten in a grand final in EMEA. So you know,
build a new record.
Yeah, top 3. She's the 3rd right now.
Before that, she had this record too. I remember.
I need to see you guys to break this record next time, okay? I need to see, you know, 110 kills, 120 kills come in. You've set the bar too high at this point. I also wanted to ask you, you know, as this game became, you know, going to the 5th map, because maybe you could have won it at 3-0 if things on Haven went your way.
Yep.
What did your IGL GX and what did your coach say to you guys to keep your mental high?
I mean, he didn't say anything special, but you know, the circle thing that we do before the game. It's motivating us a lot to never give up and take a deep breath and yeah, just focus on our game.
Smart7 is dancing behind you. He must be really happy. He must be very,
of course,
very
he's
happy. Yeah, his strats might just be better. Do you agree on that? Because when I interviewed him last time, he said the difference is just like his strats are better than the other teams. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a really great job about that, and I'm really happy that we have him in the team.
I do like how you all back him. It's very, very sweet to see. And also, I've loved every moment that Alkia has given us on the camera. I don't know if you know, because obviously we have the cameras at your boot camp. We can see you guys a lot. And I don't know if you've seen the clips on Twitter as well of just Alkia just goofing around.
yeah.
In front of the camera.
Goofy.
Did she do this on purpose? Like, you guys talked about this? You're going to show some, you know, cute things?
No, we actually didn't know that it's going to be recorded, and she was just joking around.
Yeah, that's been the highlight for us. Honestly, a real highlight. I'm really jumping ahead here because as you know, winning here is a really big deal. You get a lot of points.
Yeah.
And the more points you get, the more of a chance that you're going to make it to champs
Yeah.
at the end of the year. I think this is a super realistic goal for you now. So if you do make it to champs, are there any players or other teams from other regions that you've not had an opportunity to play against that maybe you personally want to face?
I would say I didn't have a chance to meet anyone who is not on the EMEA region, and yeah, I'm gonna be really happy to meet the girls from the other countries because I'm watching them playing right now, and I really want to face them one day. So yeah,
Is there anyone specific for you? You know, any player or team?
I mean, I would love to meet SR Shopify.
I think they'd be excited to meet you
Yeah.
too. I reckon they were watching. And lastly, before I let you go, is there anything that you or your teammates would like to say to the fans and everybody that supported you?
Anything to say to the fans, guys? We love you.
Oh, okay. I'm joining in. I'll give you one back. From us and the fans. Thank you so much. Go celebrate, and Anasilia, go celebrate your teammates.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to watch you guys, and we'll see you the next split. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Oh,
I'm a fan now
Mac,
too.
you're
I'm a
throwing
fan
them
now
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. That was unbelievably sweet. And also, I love the honesty from her saying, actually, when I joined, I kind of did expect to win this quickly. It was like a 50-50. So you have to give that to her, Mac, that they were just confident.
Yeah, confidence got it done. And look, they have to be confident, right? If you're getting picked, as you said before, out of the 70 trialed individuals to make this roster, it goes to show maybe experimenting with different comps, different people, and then selecting the best of the best ends up winning your competitions. It's good to see that they were so thorough with that, because look where we are, huh? At the top.
It just makes me wonder, how many more hidden gems do we have in contenders, right? This is literally what I was thinking was, if Anasilia has come up and managed to win a grand finals, then yeah, Lord knows. I think the fact that we've had this grand finals too, and the two teams that have been in it, is such a good change for EMEA. You know, new rivalries going into this year, and I'm just so excited for the girls too.
I mean, you heard Glance there. She was giving a shout out in the pre-show for Zerons. So that could be a team that we need to keep an eye out for. And also, Safia didn't know she got 100 kills. Like when they told her, she was like, "Oh,
humble
really?
queen.
Okay, cool.
Humble.
Yeah, I didn't realize, you know. 110 next time. 110 next time. But let's take a look on the updated points for this split, because with that, KC have gained a whopping 60 points, which is going to be very important as we look at the rest of the year. And very sweet that Anasilia's like, yeah, of course she's excited to face SR, right? I think everyone wants to face a Shopify at some point, Billy. So that's probably going to be a real possibility if KC keep this up.
Of course, and I love that you're like trying to tease those storylines out of the players right at the start of the year. I love it. Build up those rivalries before the global events. Yeah, it's great. And I think as well, we have to touch on the facts that Giant X have placed second here. You know, they were constantly gatekept out of that grand finals when we look at last year. So the fact that they've managed to come away with points at the very start of the year, I mean, it's only going to look up for those girls too.
Yeah, but that's a set 8th final, right? The 8th final that we've seen Ness and Smurf just kind of it slip away from them, and that sucks. But I think it does bode well, Mac, because we hear from Asker, you know, his whole vision is building a sustainable team that can improve throughout the year. So there's only one spot they can improve to from second. So the first place is probably waiting for them later on.
Yeah, and look, they got a couple of stages to figure themselves out. They got a decent amount of points, as we saw before. So even if during the stages things don't improve and they consistently get second, that should be enough to get them to champs. And look, that's a great place to be. But of course, you do want to keep on going forward, and that's what it ends up all being about, all right? It doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. And when you get to the end of the tunnel, that's when they'll find success. So, you know, anyone else from GX still watching, never give up.
Pop off, Queen. You tell them. But yeah, of course, history was made already. KC with the first title. And it's been a pleasure to share all these moments with you, Billy, and with you, Mac. And of course, everyone else that's worked on this broadcast throughout the last week and all of the amazing people tuning in. I want to give a quick shout out to Meg for watch partying, Roxy as well. I saw her earlier. And Redgar. I know Redgar was watching us too, which is very, very nice. But we will be back with more Valorant action in the VCT EMEA circuit starting with March 26th. But contenders will also be back in April as well. So make sure you all come back, join us, have a lovely night, and we'll see you then.
Them into the hands of Nami. Nice work, and completely unawares. My word, Eva. She needs to buy time if she can. Brilliance shown by Eva. That is not what you expect to be seeing. 30 HP. She made the stand. She held the site. Trying to clear through, and it's the Ness. At this, do they check? Are they diligent? Do they clear their corners? Not well enough. Alkia has to walk back into this. Ness on the verge. Stunning round from Ness. Ooh, not clean enough there from GX though. And Acilia, you're right, is the one showing up. You look at that spot. Look at the lurk though from Sarah. It's vintage Sarah. Look at... Oh my god.
Oh god.
You should be fine. You should be fine. You should be fine. Tried to get in too early. KC being gifted. Kills it. Bayer. This is a mess. Oh my god, Nami. This would be a dream come true for bullets. But Nami now gets to work. Should she expect the close? She should. GX has a look from above. And it's death from above. No.
Gonna help here.
GX, it was messy, but I mean, they overwhelmed. They start pouring through from CT, leaving Ava. Oh my god, nice try.
She's mad.
Yeah, no, Casey, like, what the hell did you just do? How dare Chico us? Sheriffs?
One enemy.
Bayer, this is not very hee-hee for Giant X. This is... Oh, God, GX. That's ridiculous. Smurfette trying to answer her own sort of situation. Beautiful moves to make it further. Back at Alkia, hungry for it. And feasts. Smurfette down. It is falling to pieces. Well, Sarah now plays it right. Plays to the pillar. Plays to the timing and finds a fight. Spots the shoulder. Oh, it's gorgeous from Sarah. Did she see a touch of GX there? She certainly got a tag 7. Bullets. And that ever creeping death from Sarah coming in, pulls the trigger, perfect, and the trade for Smurfette. I mean, everything here is just so oppressive to play against. So a very uphill struggle. Nice, at least on the first clean from Sarah, keeping control.
I was gonna say, maybe that flank was not going to be so successful in this map so far. Oh, never mind, Sarah's here.
Closing and killing out is Ava now just to do the dance and buy the time. I think she's done more than enough here. Beautifully done by Giant X. On top, it's getting chaotic. Glance and Acilia working together. Oh, it's gorgeous from Glance. But now to face these numbers, to try and go against it, it feels impossible.